or on this roller coaster ride with brain tumors since May of '99. For the first 6 years, I drove maybe 4, if I was lucky. But the big thing, you have to be honest with yourself and know your limits, like Fran said. You know, if you can't drive more than 2 or 3 miles from home, don't. You know, just, or if you're not feeling well, you know, don't drive. And with Jerry's, one of his things about self-reporting, I'm one of the few people that call DMV. I mean, I've got their number down, and I call the medical review people and I say, hey, I had another seizure. And they said, what? And I, you know, would go through and explain it all. But the law, as applied to me back in '99 through 2005, you had to have 2 convulsive seizures in a 12-month period to lose your license. So people, you know, you have one, you don't lose your license. I mean, you go on medication, try to control the seizures, and once you feel well enough under the medication, you're able to drive. A doctor cannot take your license away. He can recommend you not drive, and he can call and report it. He's got to report. Medical staff have to report generalized seizures. And if you do have to, you know, you're going to lose it for a year. And then it goes, after the 12 months, you get your license back, and you go on, if anybody's, I'm sure people have gone through this, but they put you on a 6-month interval reporting where they give your license back conditionally. And at the end of 6 months, you have to, for 2 years, you have to sign it, and any changes in your condition, medications, and then your doctor has to sign it, and then you send it back, and you continue with your license that way. Sometimes they'll want a narrative from your neurologist, they'll want a full physical from your GP, and you just have to comply with the medical fitness people at motor vehicles. But again, like everybody said, don't be shy about asking for help. Everybody out there wants to help. It's just, they don't know what to do. You know, we had a friend 2 weeks ago, his 15-year-old son had heart surgery, and his wife was home with their 6-month-old son. And, you know, they wouldn't, I was very specific with my list, went down, and so we just finally just made dinners and brought them up to them, and they were appreciative, you know, but they wouldn't come out and say, I need this. It's hard asking for help. But my wife, Bridget, would go out of her way, and she dropped me off to work. I taught high school, and that starts at 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:15. And she didn't have to be at work till 9. So she got to work and got a lot of things done. And then I would get a ride home from somebody. Some days I would stand at the exit and say, you going south? You know, I met people, but, you know, because there was 115 teachers in my building. And, but some of the times my license was suspended, it was due to clerical errors, because they send you a form and you have to send it to your doctor, and your doctor has to send it to Trent. And if that doesn't happen, they give you 30 days, and if that doesn't happen in that time frame, I got a notice that my license was suspended. I said, hold on, guys, I did everything you asked me to, and you have to, it's a battle. You know, if you're comfortable driving, drive. If you're not, you don't. But I was lucky where we live, I was able to walk to physical therapy. And the train was a little difficult. The train is great to get me here. We live down by Belmar, but the streets, there are no sidewalks, and a lot of the streets don't have shoulders. So it's a tricky walk. It's about 2.5 miles. And, you know, if I couldn't find anybody, I'd just call a cab. So it wasn't that bad. But you just have to get creative. Even took a New Jersey Transit bus for the first time. They work, but they're just the connections. You have to make a lot more connections. They go to, you know, Red Bank to, then they stop in Asbury if you want to go further south, and just the train was easier for me. But the big thing is to be honest, because I didn't want to hit anybody. I didn't, you know, hit a school bus or hit a kid, and I didn't want to get hurt. So, and the big thing too is also to be very careful in stopping one med and going to another. You know, when you're weaning off, even go slower sometimes than your doctor says. I know coming off of phenobarbital, you know, he'd cut the pill in half, and my aunt's a nurse practitioner. She said, go slower than that. That drug is so hard to come off of without causing a seizure. So, but you get, I'm sure everybody who's gone through it has, when I met with Nancy, I brought my whole folder. It was paper upon paper. And just keep good notes, write letters, faxes, you know. They knew me practically down there. But, you know, thank God I've been seizure-free since '05. Got my license back September of '06 and was taken off the medical review in '08. So, been driving good. And you get more comfortable as you go. And my neuropsychologist I was talking to said as you increase that your 2-mile circle a little bit further and further, you get more comfortable. And I've gone on the parkway, and now I go wherever. I really don't restrict myself. My wife puts restrictions on me. You went where?
Sometimes I find out after the fact.
Yeah, he used to say that, well, the doctor said I can drive to work. I said, but does the doctor realize you live in Cream Ridge and you're driving all the way to Piscataway on the turnpike, doing 60 miles an hour, you know, or whatever? You know, if you have a seizure, who you hit isn't going to make it, you know, if you don't make it. And that's what used to scare me the most. I would pray every day, and then he'd say to me, well, I stopped at the Home Depot. You're supposed to just go to work and back. But I would pray every day that he would come back and not hit anything. Because, you know, it's not, you know, it's bad enough that he may kill himself, but who else is he going to kill? God forbid, a little child or whatever. But also, we'd have to, you know, lose everything we've worked so hard for. So that's what scared me the most.